saying is they already called him a weight bully. He beat Kell Brook coming off of a loss.
So you can't say that he's not a Hall of Fame if he's beat world champions.
All this. When it comes to being great, it's not about just becoming undisputed. It's how you become
will be in the Hall of Fame.
Right now? No, how? He fought in one division. He had a WBC,
he didn't fight WBA. He wasn't undisputed. He wasn't undisputed.
He wasn't. No, what I'm saying is they already called him a weight bully. He beat Kell Brook coming off of a loss, an eye injury. He beat Sean Porter.
In all fairness, he had to go over there to get that.
You know what I mean? That's a good win. I'm still a fan. I hope he do well. But like, once it got to the point where I moved up in weight and I'm in the same weight as Spence, it's just like, oh man, you ain't fighting nobody. You this, you that, you this, you that. So now they trying to blemish my accomplishment just to boost him up. I'm like, dude, you're not gonna do that. Because I can retire right now and be in the Hall of Fame. He couldn't. Everything that I've accomplished, he's still trying to accomplish. I don't want to sound like I'm hating on him. I honestly don't know if he make it to the Hall of Fame with the accolades.
A possibility where you would rematch Errol Spence? Or is he in a position where he needs to win again before that makes sense for you?
The possibility is there.
Mm-hmm.
He's fighting for for his title. I'm fighting for a title. And there's the possibility. He win his fight, God willing. I win my fight, God willing. And there's your possibility right there.
I want your reaction. Is a Errol Spence rematch on the table still, or?
Nah.
All right, we're gonna wrap that. I'm trying to tell you.
I don't agree because he beat some notable names up there. You know, he beat Sean Porter, he beat Lamont Peterson,
Danny Garcia.
So you can't say that he's not a Hall of Fame if he's beat world champions, you know, and beat them like in a different way. So I don't agree with that answer right there that he said. I think he's a Hall of Fame. I feel like anybody who make it to that big stage and beat them big name champions is a Hall of Fame. Did something that nobody else got. So, you know.
Like technically he's a three-time champ because he won 3 belts.
Yeah. He was unified. Wasn't he unified?
Yeah, he was unified. It was just one. He was one away.
You can't say a person is not a Hall of Famer if he's unified. Once you unified, you made them. I feel like once you become a world champion, you made them history books.
Yeah, once you become a world champion, you make the history books, of course. But I think
unified is Hall of Fame.
You think so?
Yeah.
Guaranteed?
Yeah, because you got all the belts.
Hall of Fame, he couldn't.
Not think Spence will be in the Hall of Fame.
Right now? No, how?
Then, Bud, what you do? Because, Bud, Errol is your one, and you just shitted on him. I remember you dissing me on X because you want and deserve respect. And all of us are here to give it to you. But when you go shitting on another fantastic fighter who happens to be the marquee opponent on your resume, then brother, people are going to start flipping tables and they're going to start looking at you. Bottom line, Errol Spence is great and you whipped his ass. Sean Porter is great and you whipped that ass. And what you're daring to do to take on Canelo Alvarez is beyond great. Crawford, his accomplishments aren't great enough. You have people jumping in my comments talking about 2-time undisputed and all this shit. When it comes to being great, it's not about just becoming undisputed. It's how you become how you become champion, who you face. Because hell, Devin Haney fought Kambosos to become undisputed in one swoop. What? That makes him as great as Ali? Hell no. So if you say that Errol Spence isn't a Hall of Famer, bud, we start looking at y'all. Let's talk about Spence. He got the belts and unified, but who did he take the belts from and what did he try to do with you? Spence's road that you're shitting on is more.
And like I said before, it's in the contract, so it's not if I'm open to it or not. It's, you know, what's in the contract. And Errol gave me an opportunity and a shot at becoming the first male boxer undisputed, you know, in any division in the 4-belt era. And I honor, you know, that. And if he was to come to me or activate his rematch.
Right when I seen that, I said Crawford wins. his movement, everything was, he wins. It doesn't matter if Spence was not strong or strong. He had more of the stuff to win that fight. And Crawford is a game player. He's gonna come. He coming to win. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I still say Crawford anyway, but I feel bad that we didn't see the true Spence fight Crawford. If that makes any sense. I just think that Crawford has more rhythm, more movement, more stuff, and not just having more movement, more stuff. He has the power and everything just to be one of those great fighters. He has everything. And if you have Spence is not one-dimensional, but he's in that fight he was really one-dimensional, really stiff, and if they looked like they had really a lot of problems trying to get down to his weight, didn't have enough time to work on stuff they need to work on to, attack Crawford or to do anything to Crawford. And then when they got in the ring, he was so weak. I mean, Crawford dropping him with right jabs. We're like, dang,
Terence Bud Crawford's dominance over Errol Spence Jr. reshaped the welterweight landscape. But months later, their rivalry continues far beyond the ropes. What began as a masterclass performance inside the ring has turned into a debate about legacy, respect, and what truly defines greatness in boxing. Crawford has made his position clear. He doesn't see Spence as a Hall of Famer yet. In his eyes, fighting in only one division limits Spence's historical impact. Crawford pointed out that while Spence unified titles at 147, he never became undisputed, nor did he challenge himself across weight classes the way Crawford has. He mocked Spence's resume, claiming his best wins, Kell Brook, Sean Porter, and Danny Garcia, came against men past their primes or coming off losses. "I could retire today and still be in the Hall of Fame," Crawford said. He couldn't. Those comments immediately ignited backlash. Fighters and analysts across the sport accused Crawford of disrespecting a fellow champion who helped elevate him to superstardom. Stephen Hops pushed back, arguing that dismissing Spence's accomplishments was flat out wrong. He pointed to Spence's victories over elite opponents and his unification run at welterweight as proof of greatness. "Once you unify," Hops said, "you've already made the history books." The controversy deepened when fans revisited how Crawford once demanded respect from critics who downplayed his own achievements. Now, many feel he's doing the same to Spence. Boxing commentator Showbiz the Adult noted that Crawford's post-fight behavior was starting to overshadow his brilliance in the ring. "You beat Spence soundly," he said, "but when you tear down another champion to boost your own name, fans start looking at you differently." Meanwhile, Errol Spence Jr. has made it clear he wants redemption. Despite the one-sided loss, he's called for a rematch, confident he can adjust and perform better. Crawford admitted the clause exists, but downplayed its urgency, insisting Spence must earn another shot by winning again. "If he wins his fight and I win mine, then maybe," Crawford said. Until then, he has to wait. On social media, he doubled down, telling Spence to get in line. Analysts remain divided. Boxing legend Shane Mosley believes even a rematch would play out the same way. He argued that Crawford's rhythm, timing, and power create a stylistic nightmare for Spence, who looked drained and one-dimensional in their first fight.
His immediate rematch clause?
I don't know if it's gonna be at 54 or 47, but I'm sure he probably gonna push the weight up. But there's not gonna be no change in the decision. The performance still is gonna be the same. Might be even a little bit better. So he might want to watch out before he activate the.
Why not? If Crawford wanna challenge himself to be great, let him try to be great. So. You know what I'm saying? I'm with it. So, I'll be going for Bud, if he fight Canelo, I'll be going for him. I mean, I don't know if he gonna win or lose, but I'll definitely be going for Crawford. I think if anybody can pull it off, he can pull it off. Yeah. He's chasing greatness, so why not? Canelo came up to 175 and all that and fought Kovalev and fought the other guy too. So I mean, if he can do it, and he started at 147. So I mean, if he's doing it, why can't?
And then go for other fights, or do you think this is kind of like the cherry on top, and after this he should more or less retire on top?
Bud has two options. A, he can continue going up in weight, see how far he can go. I think he said already 54 is his max, so he could campaign that going to 54, maybe doing a rematch, or like I said, let Errol get himself back together first when it makes more sense, then do a rematch. You understand me? So for me, to let Errol get himself together first, then do a rematch is much better. To fight him right now, it's not good because, like I said, just the weight gain was not.
Let me make a plea over the international digital airwaves of YouTube. Let me make a plea right now to Terence Crawford. I understand you just beat him. You beat him thoroughly. You're the undisputed welterweight champion of the world, the WBO, the WBA, the WBC, the IBF titles, but you hugged him after the fight for a reason. I am making a plea to Terence Crawford, even if you elect to give Errol Spence Jr. a rematch. Please do not do this for at least a year. Please don't do that. Y'all are cool with one another. I'm begging you, my brother. I'm begging you. Because I know you got love, and I'm begging Errol Spence Jr., as good as you are, you were just outclassed. I say that respectfully because I got mad respect for Errol Spence Jr. Please, do not fight Errol.
I really appreciate you just being a regular dude who's very, 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 very skilled at something. I'm glad you're getting your flowers, and I hope the biggest of bags come your way in these next few years with how things play out for you, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Because you earned, bro. You earned it, bro.
And you gave us, listen, entertainment. You know what I mean? From beginning to end, it was a real display. So we appreciate you taking time, bro.
Hey, I appreciate y'all having me, man. I appreciate it.
Before we go, how soon will we get the rematch? Do you know that calendar? You know how that calendar is going to play out?
Probably, if it happened, it'd probably be the end of this year.
That's soon.
Yeah.
Like a December situation, probably, something like that?
Yeah.
There you
All
go.
right.
Terence Bud Crawford, the undisputed welterweight champion of the world.
See, I want to see Bud be great, but what better buffer to see if Bud's ready at 68 than the EJ rematch of 54 and 60? And how exciting would it be to watch Errol Spence he walks at 190. I'm 185 pounds right now. I'm 5'11". To think of me cutting, and I train, to think of me cutting 50 pounds ever is fucking crazy. To think that Errol Spence Jr. walks at 190 and fights at 47 is crazy. To now think that a rematch could happen at 60, god damn, what are we talking about? Then you get to see EJ loading up on that double jab of his. You get to see muscled up a little bit. He'll be a bit more durable. Then we get to see Bud's magistry, Bud's footwork. There's so many storylines. So I'll end it with this. I've ranted a bit too far. For all you those out there saying, nobody wants to see this too, it's a whitewash, it won't be competitive, you guys don't.
It doesn't matter how much stronger Spence gets, Mosley said. Crawford just has too many tools. Crawford's trainer, Brian Bomack McIntyre, agreed, calling the first fight's outcome no accident. Still, others see room for redemption. Sean Porter, who fought both men, believes Spence can come back stronger if he moves up in weight. He's got too much pride to quit, Porter said. If he gets time to recover, he can make it competitive again. Promoter Bob Arum, however, dismissed that notion, explaining that Spence's long-standing difficulty against southpaws made the fight unwinnable from the start. Once Crawford stayed in that stance, Arum said, it was over. Spence couldn't solve it. Even boxing personalities like Stephen A. Smith have stepped in, advising caution. Smith urged Crawford to give Spence time before a rematch, saying an immediate sequel would lack intrigue. Please wait at least a year, he said.
Crawford to victory. And the clue that I saw was that of all the fights, I think at 38 fights, of all those fights, he only fought 2 southpaws. So what is that telling you? It's telling you that he has trouble with southpaw, because to have only 2 out of 38 fights, it means that his people or himself have looked to avoid southpaws. Now, Terence's big strength is that he fights equally well from either side. So instead of opening up as a right-hander, which he usually does, and then switching to southpaw, he only fought Spence as a southpaw, and Spence couldn't handle it, particularly when Crawford, who's ambidextrous, and now his right hand is his jab, is throwing it with force and hurting Spence. So once I saw Terence come out as a southpaw, in my mind, I thought, hey, the fight's over.
Were you surprised, though, by how dominant he was?
No, because Spence can't fight a lefty, and nobody even mentioned that. He can't fight a southpaw. If Crawford had fought him 5 or 6 rounds as an orthodox fighter, it would have been a different fight.
You know, given just the performance that he had and now the attention that he's getting and the recognition, how do you feel? What emotions come to mind seeing that, hey, he's finally getting his just due when so many years a lot of people try to dismiss him?
Well, I don't know if anybody dismissed him because of his ability. They dismissed him because of his drawing power or what have you. Terence was I consider Terence a great fighter before the Spence fight, and I consider him a great fighter after the fight. You know, and his dominance didn't surprise me. He is the full boat. Now, what will eventually catch up with him catches up with all of them, and that's father time. He is 35, going on 36. So at a particular point in time, not now, but
basically was saying, I know his camp and I know him. A lot of pride, a lot of heart, but you have to understand that you're not going to win this fight. If there was an adjustment you were able to find, you would have found it sooner. You're battered up, and let's leave this night where it is and move forward and become stronger from this night. And I just thought that if it had continued, that it might take away some of the things he may be able to do in and out of the ring, because as the saying goes, you never leave the ring the same way you went in, and it truly is the case, unless of course you are Terence Bud Crawford, who had amazing defense and an amazing offensive showing on fight night, and you don't get hit, you know. Yeah, now you know this firsthand because you fought both of these guys before. Your dad was your coach, so you had a strong relationship there. Now, if you were coaching Spence, would you have thrown in the towel for him? When would you have done that? I do believe that I heard he asked Errol one time if he wanted to continue, and so I do know that at a small capacity, at the least, they contemplated throwing in the towel. And I think that Derrick James is smart enough to know, hey, something has to happen. I just think that they didn't want to go, for the sake of words, go out like that. And no one does, but realism has to play a major role, especially in the sport of boxing, because realism means if I haven't won more than 6 rounds at this point, I can't even get a draw. And then he had been knocked down already. You have to look at the realism, man. You're not going to win this fight unless you get a knockout. You haven't landed one clean shot or a numerous clean shots the entire night. Is that punch going to land? And when you look at realism, it says, let go of the pride, stop this fight, live.
Let him rebuild. The story will mean more when both are fresh. The divide is striking. Some fans want to see the rivalry continue a second fight at 154 or even 160 pounds, where Spence might carry more strength. Others argue there's no need. Crawford's dominance already settled the debate. Yet, despite the criticism, both fighters remain bound by their shared history, 2 champions whose paths defined an era. For now, Crawford moves forward, eyes on bigger challenges like Canelo Alvarez or Jaron Boots Ennis, but the echoes of Spence linger. Their rivalry isn't just about belts anymore, it's about legacy, pride, and the line between confidence and disrespect. Crawford may have beaten Spence in the ring, but outside of it, the conversation about who truly won the battle for greatness is far from over.